G'day everyone, Steelhorse here. Welcome along and welcome to Silverrun Forest Farm. Hope you're all well. We're here in the second half of March with Jake, and he's just got a load to deliver. So this is the last of the timber that he cut to create Eddie's field. It's a bit of a foolish load, so I have to take it a bit easy getting into the sawmill. I just thought he'd drop it down here at the sawmill for now. And needs to run down, finished putting oats in this field next to the sawmill, the new field we bought at the end of the last episode, and the tractor's just sitting down there ready to go in the little field by the water, which he now affectionately calls Little Water. You can see they're continuing to work over the road. Looks like they've marked out the foundation of sorts for a building. I'm still no news as to what's planned for that area, so we're going to have to wait and see. In the meantime, to be honest, Jake's had his hands full. Just there we go, 20, almost a tick under $30,000. So yeah, Jake's been fairly busy trying just to maximize the amount of land he can get crops into before we run out of runway for the seeding. And yeah, to be honest, so far it's going really well, so nothing to complain about. But sitting in the tractor up on the hill, yeah, cutting out new fields, he's kind of everywhere he looks, says, oh, you know, we could do this and cut a field in there. And I'll have a look at the map in a second and just sort of see where things are up to. But we'll just get this this seeder going. So he's going to put oats in here. So we've got the barley growing there. This we'll put corn back into here. He's decided we're going to put corn in here and in Eddie's field over behind Eddie's. We've got to get the grass off there first. Let's have a look what we can do here. So this is the little water feed. That's all correct. Let's just do 5 headlands actually, because that just gives him a bit more room to turn around. Generate the course. Just with it might do 6. How little generate that course. That's a bit better. Start in the center and off you go. Yeah, just a little bit tight. There's only a small amount of seed in here, so hopefully you'll get that done without too much trouble. That's all good. That won't take long. If we have a look at the overhead map, we can see, let's just bring it down where we can see what's what. So bigger field 2 is barley, we've just said. We're putting oats in Little Water. Water view is going to be corn, and we've got oats in sawmill. We're going to put corn in Eddie's field, and the riding school will stay as a grass meadow. Now up on the hillside, you can see we were working last time on hillside beets. That's almost ready for planting. Hopefully we might get some seed going in there today. And while he was cutting out, he's noticed that this area just on the other side of the road down towards the farmyard was pretty clear and only needed to take a couple of trees down. And he thought, oh, that's going to work better. It's also fairly flattish. So he thought if you put sugar beet in there as well, that gives us a really good sugar beet area. And not sure whether we're going to finish getting this area up here where he's built the landing cleared. We'll see how we go. There is an area there that we're cutting out, but he's kind of thinking maybe he puts soybeans up in these two fields is kind of the plan. So it's going to be a bit tight to see how we go with that before the planting window closes. You can put corn in May, but for oats and soybean, he's got to be done by the end of next month. So we'll just have to see how that progresses. The other activity that's on the list today, which he really needs to do before he does more seeding, is needs to get some fertiliser on that barley field. So we're going to have to do that quite soon, I think. So that involves putting some care wheels on the Kubota and getting a couple of bags of fertiliser. So just have to see how we go. Fitting the logistics of all these activities in is probably his biggest problem. The other thing that he is reminded of, seeing them working down there by the sawmills. So this little treed lot here between the railway line and the road, that's our land also. So looking at the development down near the sawmill, causing him to think, well, what other activities could we bring to town that might help with a little bit of growth in the area. So little cloud just over the hillside up there, nice little touch. Now what we might do is we'll leave the log trailer here for the minute. We need the rock breaker and skid steer up on the hillside to finish clearing that field with the sugar beets. There's about half a dozen rocks that need to come out, so we can transfer that away from here. It's all limed and ready to go. That, of course, that's the other thing, is the sugar beet fields will need to sample, soil test, and potentially that's going to want some lime in it too. So might be all hands to the pump. We'll follow the low road around, I think. Certainly spring's a great time of year in this area. Still crisp in the mornings, but you get these clear days when the sun comes out. It's fabulous. I don't think that field there needs any lime. I'll just have a bit of a look. Well, if we were bringing the lime out, it probably wouldn't hurt. So maybe we do these in one go if we can get to them later in the day. For now, let's go round the corner and see where things are up to. You can see there's still quite a lot of work to do to make this area in front of us a field. There's a few trees to pull out of there and get off the area we want to farm. Might end up being a small field if we can do anything with it at all. We're not going to worry too much about this strip that we planted with sugar beet last time, because you'll see as we get up to the top here, We've got quite a reasonable size area now coming up. So there's a bit on the right that's just got a few patches left to take out. And then there's this section just, you see what he means, in front of him where didn't have to take down many trees at all. And we should be right. Okay, so the first of the rocks is back up the top here near the... Oh, I've got to pack that yarder up too. Forgot about that. I think we've just about got all the trees shifted that we want. I might just move it off to the... a little bit off the edge of where we want the field to be. This is a bit of a noisy job, so we might check back in with Jake when he's finished this one. There's really only half a dozen or so rocks that we want to get rid of, so bust them up and then get the loader and scoop up these stones. Looks like that's the last one that we've got to do on this side of the field, on this side of the road. Not sure how many there are on the other side. He was trying to go around them a bit, but he didn't make too much work for himself. We'll go over there and have a bit of a squiz. See one right up in front of us there. There's a trees he's just pushed to the side of the track. We'll deal with the trees in due course. There's one just there off the end of the field that'll get in the way of equipment turning if we don't deal with it, so let's take that out while we're here, even though he's not, doesn't seem to want to extend the field down to there. Just grab these two in the turn, what will be the turning area at the end of this strip. That might do that. Let's go and grab that loader. And we might work down bottom of the hill first. See, sometimes these rock piles are deceptively smaller than you think. In my experience. This is going to prove to be the opposite by the looks. These ones are a bit larger. Come on, pick you up. Almost got it. Let's scoop it. 2,000 litres, doesn't look like anything's left there. So what we might do, no point running that back up the hill, is we might pop you just on the corner here. Provide a little bit of a marker for the corner of the road. Keep it out of the way. Where's next? As you can see, there's still a few stumps left in here. There's one over there. Jake had a bit of a hairy moment up near the crown of the hill there. I just got a little bit closer to the steep section that he was aiming for, and the traction king got a bit away from him, wouldn't select the forward gear, and was, you know how those crash boxes can be, they're a bit sticky sometimes. Trying to find first. All it wanted to do was just ever so slightly roll backwards, and he's getting closer and closer to that steep section there. Luckily disaster was averted, but managed to sort of just swing around before he rolled it over. It was enough to give him a scare and remind him how important it was to not get too carried away with how he cut the edge of the field. 2.5 metres of rock in the front of this thing, even with the little weighted bumper on the back, makes this pretty front heavy. There we go. Would have been nice if we get the dumper from the construction company that are working down at the sawmill to come and collect these for us. Might have to have a chat, see if they'll come up and do him a favour. Better than loading them into one of our trailers. Never know, they might even want this rough cast for their foundations. Now, that was the bit we wanted, just drove over the top. But we might leave Jake with this for a little while and check back in when he's picked it all up. Ready to move on to the next job, which is, looking around, going to be stumps. Brake pedal's getting a bit long working on this hillside. Definitely a flat yard machine. Watch out for the guys on the yarder. See if we can spot where all of these are. This be a little bit hard sometimes. So I don't think that'll be all of them, but it'll be a lot of them out of the way. Well, there's one Speak of the Devil right in front of us on the edge of the roadway there to take care of. And we didn't get it. It's better. Let's go see if we can finish that field off. Be nice to have some completed activity. No doubt we'll find some more as we run up the field here. We can go and see how our seed is going in a minute down in the little water. Just about there, just a couple more stumps that we missed in the field to be dealt with. But 3, I think. The field's looking pretty good. Jake's moved the yarder out of the way, so we can go and get the soil tester in a moment and see what we're dealing with in this field. And the seeder has finished down the bottom, so we can, with any luck, throw some lime around and get some sugar beet going into here, which not quite as far as he hoped to get, but this work always takes longer and there's still a couple of days to go, so complain. There is plenty getting done and the farm's a lot bigger than it was a year ago, so Jake's got plenty to be pleased about. Here we are. With any luck, if things go well, he might be able to plough out that other one later this afternoon. Let's go get the soil tester. We'll leave the front loader on because we'll need that seed with any luck. Choose the correct tool and we might have a chance at taking a test. There we go. If we go something like there, we know we got quite a lot of silty clay, which is not a huge surprise. Top of the hillside here above the river. But we might get a pleasant surprise, you never know. Test is just not going to be quite wide enough this top section, so we might as well resign ourselves to the fact we're going to have to do 3. Come up to the corner, Make sure we're not just watching the monitor and we don't shoot on over there. We'll end up with an early drink. So there we go. We can send those off to the lab. Duck down and grab the seeder. There's our nicely seeded field. Didn't use a lot. That looks pretty good. Would be nice to roll it in, but we're going to be a bit pressed for time, I think. Nothing to be done for that. Drop the seeder off just there. A minute. Let's see what the situation is with the planter. Now we're going to want to be planting sugar beets, but before we do that, let's have a look what the lime situation's like on this new field. So the new field, the pH is not it's between 6 and 6.25. It could certainly be better. But I think what we might do is we might leave the lime for this one and just let it ride. And we'll just take the, just because time's against us a little. Let's bring our planter over. You're going to be working from down here somewhere. Now let's just before we do anything have a look at how our field boundaries are set, given they were roughed out before we had a field here. So if we don't want to do that, we want to get out of there. We want this field and we want to edit and see what we've ended up with. So this side looks pretty good. A little bit outside the field there. So we need to be picking our basic line and just moving these points back into the field. So if you just hold the left mouse button under the, when the, I'll get up closer so everyone can see, when the chevron changes colour, that's when you've got it. Just depending on the angle of the terrain and a couple of other things. You can move a bunch of them. So when you've got a heap that are out like this, you can go into advanced, select the multiple points, select the, where are we there? The end, so you get a purple and come up somewhere like this guy and find him and hold the left mouse button and it'll move the whole row up. And so that looks a lot better all the way along, and so then we'll go back into basic mode and just fix these. Just so we're not running out of the edge of the field there when we run the equipment. Now at the top here we got a bit of a kink. So we can turn on delete. Let's delete a few waypoints here. Where are we? There, there. Don't need all these. Can't find him. There he is. Now, if we go back into basic, just move you up a little bit. You get the idea, so I'm just using the left mouse button to select them and move them. And you just work your way around the field. That looks all right. This top section probably needs a little bit. Just a few to move here. That'll do us. So now when we get back in our tractor and we go into our course, delete the old one, start with a new course. Look at where we are up here. We're now in Hillside Beats. It's selected it quite nicely. We've got the work width right. We will do in this implement 6 headlands. So before we get you to start, let's just get a little bit more seed. And there we go. We should be right to go. We're full. Sugar beet is the crop. And so let's go to the first waypoint. Off you go. So just coming across to check what we've got here. We have lime, but no fertiliser. We've got plenty of seed, of course, in our seed production. So what we'll do, let's drop the trailer off there, but we'll run down and grab a few bags of fertiliser from Eddie's before they close, so that we have a chance of getting some fertiliser in that barley field. We'll need plenty anyway. We can also check out what's on offer at the store. One thing he's been keen to grab, well, in addition to always looking for the second-hand opportunities to replace things like the bale trailer that we've got on loan, is you'd like an auger wagon or something similar. Just a small one for doing jobs like we were just doing, seeding and loading the fertiliser. So have a quick look at that while we're there. What's on sale? Bigger version of the trailer we've got, so we don't really need another dumper trailer. So let's grab some fertiliser. Now, what Jake's heard real good things about this balance. Apparently it comes from New Zealand, but price is looking pretty good. They're obviously keen to sell it, so Jake's going to grab, what have we got there? We're going to need, we've got a few fields to fertilise, so let's grab 6 bags and hope we can get them in the back of the ute. And in terms of those little wagons he was talking about, these are all big ones. We might end up with one of those one day for the harvest. But something like this guy here looked pretty interesting. So just throw it on the back of the tractor, can load into everything we've got. Should be small enough to get under the spout out of our seed machine. Don't know if there's a smaller one. We don't necessarily need bigger tires. Let's just see here. Well, there's this guy. He's a bit big. 17.5 metres feels a bit excessive for our requirements. So I reckon we go with one of these in a green. Jake's pretty partial to the red, I reckon. Let's give that a whirl. Let's see how we go. It's probably a bit taller than we were hoping for. That might prove to be a small problem. It'll do the job out in the field for sure. Will it load? Yes, it will. So we don't need any help. We can just get the bags of fertiliser straight into it. I reckon the problem is it's going to be just a little bit too high. You're almost going to need a cutaway under the outlet of that seed machine. Oh, that'll move the seed machine up onto a little berm to make it a little bit more practical for us. I'm sure Jake can set his mind to it and we'll see what happens. Might turn out to be a summer project while we're between sort of crop planting and harvest. At least now we're all set. We can do the fertilising when we get the right tyres on the Kubota. Yeah, there's no way that's going to get under there. It'd have to be up on a platform for us to have any chance, so either that or we need to pick up another little auger. We'll see how we go. That's a problem for another day. Now we'll just take this in the shed. No need to get it if we get a heavy dew overnight or anything. Oh, looks like we got a little stuck on the edge here. Something's gotten confused. Don't know where that bit of the course is going to. We'll turn around here. Let's see what we've got. Let's turn on the whole course. It's a little bit higgledy-piggledy up there. We've done those two. I would imagine you can probably do something like get back on the course there and let's see how you go. Just put you on. And that's good. So in terms of today, that's where we might leave it. We're getting our sugar beet into the ground for the next season. Much bigger field than we had previously, although our crop was a bit spread out. But that's all come together really well. So until next time, thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good one. See ya.